Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back. Today's episode is a special edition, and we'll be tackling the concept of homosexuality. Now, homosexuality is something taboo in some cultures and something normal in other cultures. For example, you go to the United States, places, Canada, where we're growing up, homosexuality is something that has become normal. However, in certain cultures, such as Arab cultures, Muslim countries, is something that, taboo and people don't want to speak about. However, we know that in both, Muslim countries and non-Muslim countries, this is an issue. Parents are alarmed, societies are alarmed, people are trying to play it down, for example, in the West. However, even parents, are alarmed about this issue. It's like, kind of like, as a parent, you'll be like, I don't want my child to be gay. Well, okay, I don't mind what other people are doing, but I don't want my child to be gay. For example, in Muslim countries, in Arab countries, this is a big no-no. Not even talking about it, sometimes it's a big taboo. So we're introducing this special edition episode, discussing and going into the minds of two Muslim youth. What do they know about this topic? Because people might be like, well, why are you talking to them about this? Why is this issue being brought up anyway? Homophobe this, homophobe that. But the real deal is that this is a big problem in the Muslim youth. And I remember being very shocked by one of my friends telling me as a teacher that in the school that this person was teaching, what a big issue is, that it's just out in the open now. And this is like a Muslim country that she's talking about. So we need to understand this issue. We need to tackle it and see what are the solutions that can be brought forth from discussing, this issue, and how can we tackle this issue? What advice can we give to the parents, to the youth, to the Muslim Ummah on the issue of homosexuality? And what is homosexuality in the first place? Is it the standard? Is it something normal? Are people just born homosexuals, or do they become homosexuals? What does the media have to do with it? What does the fitrah have to do with it? And what does Islam have to say about it? So you need to stick with us about this special edition episode on homosexuality here on Iqraa. This is Jibril, and we'll see you shortly.
A little bird took a path to his home on a sunny day. On the path to his home was a storm that was in the way.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is your host Jibril on Iqraa. Welcome to another episode discussing youth issues, youth problems. Omer, Hisham, ahlan bikum, welcome. Today we're going to be discussing a special topic, and that is the issue of homosexuality. Queer, lesbians, homosexuals, and so on. And I want to start with a story that happened in my life when I moved to Canada from Europe. It was like the first summer, and I was working in an ice cream store, selling ice cream outside to people, So basically, we'd go on these, these mobile bikes and sell ice cream outside. So my boss told me to go and sell ice cream. There's a pride parade, and I was like, all right. He said, there's going to be lots of people, and they're going to be funny, and this, and he was kind of joking with me. And I didn't understand because, culturally speaking, being in Romania, these kind of things they're not out in the open. They might be homosexuals and so on in Romania, but they are, but but it wasn't out in the open. So basically, I went, and all happy. I'm going to make money, sell a lot of ice cream, get good commission. So all of a sudden, all these people come on the main street, like the main road of the city, and they get it together. And I didn't notice anything strange till they started their so-called parade. So I'm selling ice cream, and I'm noticing that people are dressed weirdly. They started dancing weirdly, putting weird music. Guys or girls that look like they're guys, but they're dressed like girls, and vice versa. People with weird makeup. And for me, that was weird. And people passing on cars, having some kind of beads, a lot of rainbow flags, and all these things, right? And I'm sitting there and I'm watching, and I'm saying, something's wrong. From my fitrah, from my natural disposition, I see some weird things. I'll try to put yourself in my shoes, right?
Yeah.
You've never really seen these things in your life. You're coming from a country that somehow at that time was somehow conservative, or these, especially in this case anyway, in certain issues. And all of a sudden, some of them start speaking to me. Like, hey honey, how are you? And I was like, what? You know, and at that time, you know, I was at that time, I was not a Muslim yet. And I was wearing like a what's called just a shirt without sleeves, and these people started saying to me certain things. And I felt very uncomfortable. And then someone tells me, like, you know, that these people are gay, and they have a gay pride parade. Like, they're proud that they're gay, and they're basically parading for this reason. And I was so shocked. I was so shocked at this. And then, you know, a priest came and they had a speech, the importance of being gay and, you know, being proud of it, and, you know, being lesbian. And to me, it was just like, man. So it was the first time in my life that I was exposed openly to this issue. And of course, later on, we've realized even in the Muslim Ummah, and we had some issues in Canada, for example, where the gay community, the gay Muslim community, wanted to open a masjid specifically for gay people. All right? So, speaking about this issue, Omer, Hisham, what do you guys know about it? What do you guys think about it? Is this something that is discussed about in the circles of the youth, specifically the Muslim youth?
Well, at school, when I was smaller, everyone used to say the word gay, but when I asked them what it means like something that's not nice. Because, for example, I would show them something, they say, oh man, this is gay. So I thought gay means like stupid or something. But later I found out gay means like the original meaning for gay, I think it's something like something wrong or something not right. But I found out that it means homosexuality.
Okay.
So from then, my friend explained to me what gay people are, what they do, why they do this, and how they do it. So, and I was disgusted. I was shocked. I hated gay people, and I hated gay people completely. I hate them with all my guts and stuff. But I was shocked that some of my best friends were gay. So I was shocked myself. But they were different. I mean, like, I stayed friends with them. But the reason I hate gay people, because I thought that all gay people would try and harass other men.
Other men, okay.
Yes, but
now, is gay people just men?
No, it could be women.
Women, right?
Yeah,
now, you're saying it's a very strong word here, and some of the viewers, for example, in the West might object to say, oh, I have friends that are gay, or my brother's gay, or something like that. And they might say, how can you're a hate monger, and how can you hate gays, and you're homophobe, right? As this term called homophobe,
because I thought gay people were just perverted, because I thought that they couldn't. I thought that the main reason people became gay because they couldn't have the desires of the woman. So out of their perversion and their desperation and their selfishness, they started doing it with the man. That's why
or
I hate it, because I hate selfish people. I don't like perverted people, and that's those two. For me, those two things were like gay people for me. So that's why I don't like them. No one ever actually explained to me like exactly why they do it, and I've had like a gay person try and harass me once. And
can you tell us a bit about this?
Yeah, I was in this basketball club, and I went to get this water for our club, after the match. So this Indian guy, I asked him for, no offense, but I asked him for some water. He said to me, okay, sure. Then he started looking at me in weird ways, smiling at me and looking down at me and up and down. So I was just a bit creeped out, but generally I just like that, okay? So he went, and then he put his hand on my back and slowly started to go down. And then he went to the area. So I backed away, and then I kept quiet after a while, and then after a day or two, because I was still small, I was 11 at the time, but I knew about gays. So I kept quiet. After I told my parents, my dad was shocked. We called in the police. I think they took him away or something, but I was glad that happened. So since then, I've hated gays even more. But then people tell me that gays are, they're born naturally with this. They like the man because he's sweet and kind, not because they want to satisfy his desires. But I'm not sure really, because I think it's impossible to be born with.
Okay, we'll discuss about this nature versus nurture in a second. But Hisham, what do you think about this?
I mean, in school we joke around with it. We say, this guy's gay, this guy's gay. But if you think about it seriously, in reality, jokes aside, it's a serious problem. I mean, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that the mukhalifina min al-rijal, that the men who act like women, meaning their desires are with men. And with the human fitrah, the men, you know, if I just talk about men for now, we are born with the urge, the desire for women, for the other gender. And it's not possible that a man, that's why Rasulullah ﷺ took serious measures against them. He said the gays should be killed. But if you think of it nowadays, that the gays, they have a problem, but they're not born with this problem. After they are born, you know, you see a person only admits he's gay after, you know, he's 15, 20, you know, when he's a man, when he's big.
Okay,
so this
out.
problem
What they
is
call coming out.
Yeah,
coming out.
He's not born with this. He develops it and he makes it come out, even though it's not there. Every human in Islam, you know, the fitrah is that every human is born innocent, a Muslim and clean, and, you know, a woman has desires for a man has desires for a woman. But then the Islamic perspective is that it's not, you know, nobody's born with this. Afterwards, they choose this path.
Now, nature versus nurture, and this is a psychological debate. Psychologists debate whether a person can be born gay, and we talked a little bit about sexual abuse and pedophiles and people being attracted to little kids. You know, people being born with these kind of sexual perversion. Can someone be born as a gay, or do they become gays? You guys can comment, and then I'll add
It's impossible because, first of all, use the logic, okay? How can even our body parts aren't suited for the same gender? They're suited for the other gender. These people, they argue, no, God has allowed us to choose a man and woman. And think about it. The body parts of our body aren't suited for another man. And the same with the children. The children, how can the pedophiles find them attracting when they're small, they didn't even hit puberty yet? It's impossible to be born with this. It's just like it comes in you while you grow up. The society around you, people think it's normal. When you say, for example, I've seen this before, someone, when I was small, yeah? Like around 12 or something, this person was gay, and I was shocked he was gay. I started thinking, oh, this guy's gay. They're like, yeah, he's gay, so what? And I was like, what do you mean, so what? He's gay. That's not a normal thing. See, Allah even says, Allah curses the people that act like women. So I think, how is this a normal thing? They're like, oh, everyone's gay nowadays. I'm like, seriously.
Okay.
Shocking. Yeah, and what I thought is that people are not born this way, you know, they become this way, and they develop it. I mean, the building blocks of a person's life, of a person's personality, is not exactly from genes. You know, as we discussed before in a few episodes previously, you said that, you know, the intelligence of a person is not genetic, right?
It's affected somewhat genetically.
A little bit, yeah, but
the job that you will seek will not be genetically passed down, for example. If your dad is like a doctor, not necessarily that you'll be a doctor.
A person's personality is not very much genetic. I mean, the building blocks of a person's personality are from society, from parents, from friends at school. So all these things make up the individual. And if a person has this option, I mean, in America, because in America it's allowed, gay marriage is allowed and stuff like that. So it's an option. You can say, either I like a woman or I can like a man. It's my choice.
Let me try, Annie. Let me get some flavor.
And if you leave that option and you want to experience it, obviously people start going into that side. But if you say, no, that's not an option, I'm a human being, I'm a man, my body parts aren't made, as he said, aren't made for a woman, and that's how it is. For example, there have been women who act like men, you know, as Rasulullah said, you know, al-mukhalifina min al-rijal wal-mutarajilun min al-nisa. Yeah, the women cannot act like men, the men cannot, you know, vice versa. You cannot act like another gender.
In that parade that I've seen, they were dressed as men. Some actually, subhanAllah, as you're saying, they even have operations.
Exactly.
To make different body parts and sexual changes and these kind of things. Now, one thing that that you've said about the nurture and nature, you know, there's different, obviously, the nurture aspect of a human being, the nature part of the human being, genes and so on and so forth, their DNA, and how, you know, certain characteristics and traits of personalities are. As I said, we talked before that certain things are influenced. But however, if you look at, you know, the difference between a child and their parent, you know, sometimes parents say like, he's nothing like me, you know, I don't know who is he like, you know, or something. Sometimes parents say, oh, he's so much like you, or anything like that. But I would say that's more like, and we talked about the nurture, what the environmental factors around ourselves. Now, one of the interesting stories that I remember very well is of a friend of mine actually in Romania, who went to jail because he abused someone, he beat someone up. And then in jail he was exposed to this issue, this homosexuality, you know, people did things to him. And then he came out of jail and he actually murdered someone to go back to jail. because he missed it. And this was a person who was involved with girls before and so on and so forth. You know, now we're saying that you should be. But he basically said that I liked what happened. You know, because I was in jail, I didn't have any girls, and then I started experiencing with boys. And then all of a sudden, I liked that, so he did this heinous crime to go back. SubhanAllah. So, you know, can you say that he was born that way?
Definitely
no, because his whole past experience shows that. And we knew him. He was a guy with me all the time, you know?
The ladies' man.
Yeah. And all of a sudden, you know, this experience and change. And throughout, you know, you see people, numbers, just rampant numbers, people going into jail and getting involved in this kind of behavior. But before jail life, they're, you know, maybe married, have children, maybe even, you know, addicted to, you know, to women or something like this, you know? But then all of a sudden, it changes. And the other, you know, in the other perspective, we find women, for example, experiencing with a man or being divorced and say, I had enough with men, you know, I'm done. I'm gonna go for women, you know, and stuff like that.
It's always a life experience or something that disturbs you that makes you go to the other path. Like, as you said previously in previous episodes, that, you know, if you go to the masjid, if you know, you're rejected from the masjid, you go somewhere else.
Right, you find a different path.
Yeah, like that. If, you know, like you said, if a man and a woman are married and then they get divorced, the woman says, I'm done with men. These bad experiences lead you to go to other places, but it's not born, it's not a genetic trait. There's genetic trait and there's environmental traits. There's genetic variation, environmental variation.
Very interesting.
So it's...
Hold that thought, inshallah, and we will be right back and with the second episode on this topic of homosexuality, so stick with us.
A little bird took a path to his home on a sunny day.